Don't worry, y'all. I was just letting the girlie know that I got everything under control with her houseplants. She was worried. She got nothing to worry about. I'm here. Don't worry. All right. We're up. We're live. How's everybody doing? Grow Super PNW coming at you. It's sunny again in the Northwest. Still a bit cold. Still a little bit windy. But the sun has broken out again. The last night or two, I've had to go and throw some sheets over a couple of the plants to make sure they don't get harmed by the cold snap. Boom. Oh, I forgot we got dog cam going on down there. So I guess we're jumping straight into the project screen today, guys. Let's open it up. There we go. All right. Big close-up here of the horse chestnut. This is what I'm teasing you guys with today. We're gonna put a huge air layer on this thing if you guys feel like rolling on in. If we get 10 viewers, we're gonna be taking a huge air layer off of this. Looks like we've dropped a couple of frames getting started here. I apologize for that, guys. And yeah, the reason that the face cam is blank right now is because it's actually in dog cam position if the dog decides to come in and say hello. But we'll see about that. Want to say welcome to everybody. Thank you to everybody for the recent support. Brian TV, your recent contribution to the channel of 5 subs has been so appreciated. Thank you very much for that. Hopefully everyone has a nice good view of everything here. And we are going to be working on a few different projects today. To kick off, I'm going to be rehoming a river birch into a trainer pot so that we can open up one of our nice larger terracotta pots for a different tree. Okay, mic boom feels nice and tight, guys, so hopefully we don't have another mic drop moment like we've had a couple of times recently. The lighting is still awkward as hell, but we're gonna make it work. Hello everybody, what's up? Yo, Grow Sleeper PNW here. Hope everybody's having a fantastic day, morning, night, afternoon, wherever you're tuning in from, because I know you guys are all over the world. I think that is so cool. I was looking at my viewership the other day, and it's all across US, Norway, Mexico, the UK. So hello to everybody out there. Hello, hola, hello. Cheerio. Konnichiwa. Hi to everybody out there. Really happy to have y'all in here. I'm just getting everything mise en place right now. A little bit of dirt from last project is still lingering around, but we're putting down a sheet anyway. So let's just get that sheet down. This was the sheet that I had over my azalea last night. Because with the cold snap and my azalea just opening up, I didn't want it to kill off the new buds because it's pretty unlikely that it would go through a second full budding process this season. And that tree is so fantastic, I really did not want to lose the bud. We never want to lose the buds, right? Alright, so we'll do a little more camera adjusting here to try and get you guys the best view of everything. Or something like that, maybe. That seems pretty good there. Okay, get the yoga blocks down so I don't kill my knees. So, the project I'm going to tease you guys with, if we can get 10 viewers today, I think it says it in the description, is that right where this string is, from either here, we could cut real low and turn this bottom part into just a big old knot by air layering all the way down here. And it would be pretty sick. Let me just put my rope down where I would do my cut. So I'll probably take a second to introduce myself. I'm Grove Sleeper PNW. I like to play horror games, I like to play indie games, I like to play puzzle games and all sorts of other stuff that interests me on Steam and good old games. Kind of variety style. Seasonal stuff, all that. And we also do a lot of bonsai content. And now that it's spring, we have lots of projects that we can do. During the winter, there's a lot of gaming going on because the primary job is keep everything alive. So we keep everything alive through the winter, and now that it's spring again, we start looking at pieces that are starting to rot off for this season. From the Nabari. This tree has such a fantastic Nabari. I think that this would be our front right here. Just like that. And then if this is the front of our tree, our new lead is going to be going up and across. You know, this isn't very interesting. The straight up look, it's too tall. It looks very beautiful with all of the foliage, but we're going to air layer this off into its own tree. So we're going to take from this dead end here across and up, and this is going to be our new lead here. And I've even talked about pruning this one down, but I think I want to keep these as the largest leaves on the tree for now. And this is going to look very cool. But the thing is, this giant branch that makes up about, I don't know, 30% of the tree is going to have to go. So I can do a real low cut from down at the bottom where the string is here to about here and bag it all up and get a pretty gnarly large tree out of that if I was able to successfully air layer it. And then we would cut this just down to a knot down here. The other option is to take the tree up higher, like here, and leave some gin behind, a reminder of the tree, the branch that used to be here. So it's something I have to really think about because I only get one shot at it. I think there's just so many things we could do with it if we cut low. It's a bit riskier and it's a lot closer to the other part of the foliage here, but if I can get the air layer bag to fit around this section, that should be more than enough room. So that's option number one. I'd probably want it a bit lower than this because this is where my root ball is going to start, so I need the most room, probably right there. Let me just tie that knot. And we're just talking through it here. I'm just thinking out loud. Whoops, hang on, I kind of messed this knot up, guys. We're just thinking out loud. And I want your guys' input too. What do you think would look better? I've talked to a couple of masters on this. Folks that have put in their 10,000 hours. And they say to take this whole top branch off. And I agree. The question is where? Do we go from here to here? That could be a good air layer. Bring this up a bit. Over these knots. And I don't think that it'll heal too far over the knots. It'll probably have a pretty robust grow back, but I think that this leaves me enough room if I'm real careful to cut all the cadmium layer. That should be enough. I can separate the tree a bit here. Man, yeah, they're like almost fusing onto each other at this point. This is gonna be crazy to cut off. When I finally take it off, it's gonna be a wild cut. That's gonna happen in 8 weeks at the least. I'm giving this one a very long time to grow in. But like I said, this is the tease. This big cut's coming in. If we even got 8 viewers, I would go with it. But we'll say 10. And then we'll do some major work on this thing. I've got to move my little toothpick here. I think I was using it for something. These little toothpicks indicate the front of the tree for me. And if I'm looking at it from this direction, this is how I would be seeing it. So I would say that this is the front of the tree here. So let's line it up with the camera for you guys. What do you think of that? The Nabari's just nuts on this thing, and it grows so tall. This is one of my coolest trees by far. It's a showstopper. I brought it to the Bonsai meeting the other day, and a lot of people were walking up saying, what is that thing? Because it's very unique. That's why I'm scared to mess with it. But this will be one hell of an air layer job, and if I pull it off, I'll be really proud of myself. I've got my guidelines set. Unless you guys can talk me into cutting it up here. In which case, I would have more room to gin this down, even if have a new lead here to kind of fill in this canopy spot. And then the new tree could probably go to here and be pruned down, and these I would also probably take and try to make air layers out of at a future date. Like next season maybe. I don't know if I would be bold enough to do all 3 of these at once, because this first air layer down here is going through a massive, it's half the tree. Whew. So that's the tease, guys. We'll see if we get to that today. I do need to do it soon, no matter what. But whether I do it outside by myself off camera or on camera with you guys, kind of depends on if we draw a crowd. So we'll see. Even the back of this thing is just really fantastic. Look at how, bleach white it's turned, and there's parts of the bark that I could glue on or I could pull off, and these parts are even removed enough that I can take it completely off for you guys. See, that adds this new deadwood aspect to the front. I think I'm going to take the bark off on both sides. Actually, I'm just going to peel back on this side. I'm also going to pull back some of the moss and dead bark at the bottom. Oh, wow. This is already developing its own very awesome deadwood pattern. The more I pull back, the more I discover. Wow. Fantastic. And I can leave this here because I can always glue it back on if I felt like it. But I don't think that it really matters. I think I would actually rather have this off. I think it adds this cool deadwood effect. And it's even starting to happen down in this area too. I'm gonna remove these for now, but I'm gonna keep them just off to the side. I'm not gonna toss them into the compost. I'm gonna do the same to this side. There it goes. So that right there is big, guys. Normally I would have a wire brush, but I actually haven't ordered my new wire brush yet. It's in my cart on Amazon. Let me see if I have something else. Oh look, there's all that twine I was looking for. Of course. Got this that I can do some kind of light scraping with. This is more bark here that's completely overgrown with moss, so it's just rotting and rotted. Look at this cool color that this adds. This bleached dead white Nabari here. And then this almost stone-like piece. God, like the closer and the longer you look at it, this is a really fantastic tree. And the moss around it, it's all natural. This pillow moss I don't have in any other tree. This stuff right here, same. It's got two unique types of moss that I don't have in any other tree. I should really try to separate this stuff and get it to spread and germinate in a tray because it's so awesome. So like I said, I don't have the brush, but it's alright. It came off clean, and this is just nice, clean root now. Honestly, a little bit of water will make that bit of grime come off, and it's all going to turn white. That's going to look sick. But that's it, guys. That's all the work that we get on this for right now. I told you, this is a to-be earned project for later. I'm gonna do one quick pot swap that I've had on my to-do list with you guys. Pot swap time. All right, say goodbye. Got it on my backup tray now. So here's the thing. I've come up with all of these nice new nursery trees from the graveyard, and they all need pots to go into. So some of these Yamadoris I've collected this year need to get demoted to trainer pots now that I have those. So it's simple little transplants here, and this is actually an interesting one because I used a pretty large pot for it. And it's a cool looking tree. Let's get a different perspective on this. Let's go in. Can I go lower? Yes, I can. Okay, we're about to drop down, everybody. Here we go. This is gonna be a weird perspective of my face probably, but you'll be able to see the tree nicely. And we'll get to try out a new camera angle. Let me just get this thing level. Where's my level? There it is. There. And then is downward helpful? Just a bit? Yeah, so I'm really trying to get the best perspectives for you guys. With that white background, I know there's some black background. Let me see how it looks if I remove the white. You know, even though there's a little bit of stuff back here, I still think you can see better with the black. So let's play this way. Thanks again to Brian TV for those recent contributions to the channel with the gift subs. You guys can see that this moss that I put in here from the yard is starting to spread inside this pot. It's a shame I gotta dig it up right now, but I've got so much nice moss that I've got to take care of. All of those contributions are going to go towards helping me get my very own workshop someday, hopefully soon, in the next 12 months or so. I would really, really hope to get the workshop figured out where I can be doing this full-time with you guys, running clinics, making trees, maybe selling some online or locally. To anyone who might be interested, because I have too many trees now. Upon last count, I was in the 60s, I think 66 to 67 trees in total, different specimens out in my yard. And that doesn't count one project that I have that's in the ground. So I've increased from about 17 trees to the 60s over the last 12 months, you guys. I'm practicing a lot. God, this moss looks so healthy. It's definitely going into the next pot with the tree. gonna try and just not interrupt it as much as I can. This is gonna be awesome. Okay, so this is something that's almost kind of a cheater version of a repot. I don't know that this light's serving us any purpose, guys. I just kill it. You might call this a slab slide. I'm gonna have to see what the root system of this looks like. And by the way, it needs to be trimmed back and shaped and designed and everything. I've not done any work to this tree since I pulled it from the river. Can go into this smaller permanent round if it's real long. If it's real long, it can go into this one and I don't mind. But if possible, I want to keep my nicer ceramics for finished pieces, and pieces that are just growing can go into these pots like this. And I think this one will be a good size. I might have to do a little bit of trimming back, so I'm gonna have my shears out and ready to go. And I think that what I want to work this out with is actually my spatula scraper, so I can kind of show you guys the slab slide technique. This is not a proper repotting, because I'm not going to be pulling it down to bare root or anything like that. Here it is, this tool right here. It's like a barbecue scraper. So the slab slide is when you want to repot something, but you don't want to do a full repot on it. Here's some nice river moss that's been surviving in there as well. So there's some moss that I want to take care of. Underneath that moss, I put some river rock here. Let's make it so you guys can see a little better. I've got this river rock here because I wanted to kind of shape. Here's a fertilizer basket I had to bury so the squirrels don't get it. And that kills moss as well, so it had to stay under the moss. So this is all river rock here because it's got this really cool shaped Nabari growing here. And I didn't want to go dirt up to that. I wanted to keep the stones there to keep it a little frozen in place, kind of slow down the growth in that area. Focus on the lower roots, but not keep growing outwards from there. So let's see how this thing's been doing. I've put it into this pot maybe 3 months ago. And it looks like I used a pretty good mix of lava rock and like topsoil. We're gonna have some extra after pulling this thing out. And this is actually what I've decided is the front. What do you guys think about that perspective of the tree? Isn't that cool? So that's why I wanted this backside to just kind of stop, because this could also be a potential front. If I could get this to kind of die off a little but not kill the tree, because it feels like pretty dense root system in here. And if this dies off as roots and kills the tree, I wouldn't be very happy. So let's continue with this slab slide project. I think I'm gonna pull the moss from as far as I can. It's just such a shame because it's starting to grow in right here. All right, this is gonna be like a proper slab slide, guys. So I'm taking it almost too literally and gonna slide it almost into this new pot. Let's get it prepped up really quick. It looks like it's kind of full of dirt. Drain holes need a little bit of cleaning. There we go. Okay, so now that the drain holes are clean, this time I'm gonna do a little bit of a different tactic because I have better substrates and stuff. Let's throw in a wire mesh. I'm sure there's gonna be one inside here as well, but put the wire mesh down, protecting these drainage holes, kind of like this. I don't know how well you guys can see, but it's just kind of laying parallel so that it can cover both drain holes like that. And then I'm gonna put some fine lava rock over it. This is a really good drainage layer. I just want to put it right in the center so that I make sure that it stays down. As a matter of fact, it's pointing up. I'm gonna flip it over. There we go. I've got to make a decision really quick on wire. I suppose I'm gonna throw a piece of wire in here so that I can tie everything down. I don't know how necessary it'll be because it's moving into a tight container. It's probably gonna be a tight fit, but we'll find out. Hey Tass, how you doing? Welcome Tassadoo. How are you today? I got a whole bunch of plants to work on, so I might get to some gaming later, but I think I'm gonna be working on plants for most of the day. First, I'm repotting this river birch. I got it from the Boise River this season when the river was low, so a handful of months ago. And these are just growing in the like the riverbed. They take up root in the rocks that are just down in the riverbed that are a lot like this. And it's such an unstable substrate that these trees are just gonna get washed away by the river when the river flows hard this year. So I go in and I collect them, and I literally just have to take a grab and pull up, and they just come right out of the rocks, and they're so cool. This one's completely out of control and needs to be pruned, but I want to open up this pot so that I can put a better tree in it. So we're doing a slab slide. It's not a full repot. It just means that I'm sliding it essentially from one pot into another to open up some better real estate. So you caught me here when I'm putting in some lava rock to make sure this drains. I don't want to drop this stuff on the ground, so I'm trying to get a nice tight grip. So these are the fines. The stuff that I sifted down to like the smallest size. And I'm actually gonna go grab some mid-size because I don't think I have any in here. Shoot. But how's your day going, Tassadoo? Definitely drop a note and let me know. This could be a good substrate here, actually. Nah, I'm not gonna be stingy with the lava rock. I worked for it, I get to use it. Hang on. Let me see if I have any in here. The studio is cramped right now. I've got my mic going all the way across. It's on top of my... It's on top of my... gaming chair, and I gotta step all over stuff. Where do I have... You know what? No, I don't want to waste Sakadama on this either. Okay, here, let me go get a cup of some appropriate substrate. I'll be right back. In the meanwhile, let me know how your day's going. What's up? What's good? Okay, lava run. I got a 2-in-1. Check it out. Big cup of the lava for this. And then for some future projects, I also got one of the pots that I want to use full of lava. So 2 burbs with 1 stone. This room gets so hot, man. When I'm doing this work, I'm just burning some calories, and my PC's burning a lot of calories too. Even though I'm not running a game. Whoops. Mic bump. Damn, I don't want my mic to fall off the boom again. That sucks. I'm gonna have to get myself either a lapel or like a little mobile mic stand so I can just take it off of the boom and pull it this way and have it like standing here. But again, I need to find a cost-effective way of doing it. Working with $3 and $5 trees for the most part. I did inventory on my 63 trees that I have now, and I think the grand total that I've spent on them was 55, 65, 70, about $120. Probably all in $120 for the trees that I've purchased. But I've also gotten a ton of stock for free. Like, I can't describe. I paid for like 20 of those trees maybe, and bought raffle tickets for maybe 20 of those trees. And the other 40 were free. Donations from Facebook, adopted trees, trees from graveyards that are just not literal graveyards, from nursery graveyards that are just hopeless. All right, let's pour in some of this big lava now to fill this up a bit and give it nice drainage. Okay, so now everything's fully protected down there, but I'm all on a budget, and that's why I had to, I mean, these are some of the most expensive things that I have to get. These trainer pots are like, these are a couple dollars a piece. The smallest ones, those are maybe like $2 a piece. These are maybe like $6 a piece, and the large ones are like 13 or 14 bucks a piece that are about the size of this pot. So I need to get a handful of those, but then again, now we're talking a $36 to $45 purchase for a multi-pack. And so like some of the supplies that suck to get are basins and receptacles. So it's actually smart to move, you know, your free and developing trees into the cheap pots or nursery pots that might be free. I'm going to be keeping all of the trees that I'm cloning this year in their current pots, and that means that some of them are staying in nursery pots, at least until they're done air layering, and then I'll be able to repot them. You don't want to do those 2 projects at the same time. It's way too stressful on the plants, and that makes it stressful on me. All right, so how are we going to attack this thing to get it out? I've got 2 good tools to start. My sickle, a little root cutting sickle. Might have that in my toolbox. Let's put moss up here. Substrate that I'll probably need. I get surrounded by these empties, but this is going to be a good compost bucket for me. I'll just put this over here and start throwing compost in it. I've even got some dead tree stuff from the last project in here. I'm trying to stream often enough that it might still be dirty the next day, because that means that I'm at least putting in the hours. If I'm not even able to clean up after every single project, because some of these go very late. You know, if I'm up until 2 in the morning or whatever doing a stream, and then I have to get up and then clean everything and then make it dirty again, I might just go for it, you know. All right, fertilizer basket needs a unique place here. Some compost stuff. Rocks. Go and toothpick. All right, so first thing we come in with our little root sickle, the root cutter. And this does a really good job of pulling up the slab that we're talking about. So since we're doing a slab slide, I'm not repotting this thing to the max. I'm just trying to pull off as much substrate as I need to get it to fit into this new pot. I don't want to cut roots necessarily because it's in a heavy growing season, but whatever does get cut will grow back. It's almost starting to feel like some of the roots are reaching all the way across. And I'm holding this moss in place because I would kind of like to just leave the moss right where it is. And if I can do a successful slab slide here, it should go pretty clean from one to the other. I mean, it's gonna dump dirt, but it should just kind of stay intact, but transfer over homes, like a hermit crab. Except going to a smaller shell that's more appropriately sized. It's more like it's a downsizing hermit crab. You know, he's going through some tough times right now financially, so had to switch over to a plastic house, but you know what? It's only for the short term. In a few years, when things start to develop, we can reevaluate and see if terracotta is right at that time. Such is life, am I right? Okay, now I'm feeling this actually start to pull up. Oh yeah, the whole root system. And I might be able to pull this out as a plug, because this looks like it's been growing roots all the way out to the outside. Oh, it is gonna come out as a plug. Oh my god. Okay, so this is gonna go as a straight up like trim and plop. All right, here we go. This is like the epitome of the slab slide, guys. 1, 2, 3. Up she go. Look at how healthy this tree is. Oh my god. I'll take that as a W. It's a compliment. Tree's doing well. I'm gonna try and drop all these drainage rocks into the right spot here. Get this pot as cleared out as I can so I can set it up on my shelf. So get these drainage rocks out. Yeah, this is a big boy basin. This one might even be stamped. I'll have to take a look at the bottom and see if it's got a mark on it. Let me see. Nope, this one's not marked, but it is a nice pot. 2 big drain holes that you can work with the wiring. But look at that, guys. We just pulled that whole thing out as a straight plug. It has been really enjoying whatever we're doing here. So let me just do some sizing up here. We gotta know our front and our back and how it's gonna line up with this. Hey Tass, it looks like you're going online too. Have fun. GLHF, dude. When I log off, maybe I'll raid over to you if anybody's hanging out. I think you're doing some art stuff too, which is totally cool, dude. I love that. I think you were working on a Sonic PNG or V2 last time I saw you, which was turning out really, really cool. All right, so all the drainage rocks back in this corner, all the filler slop over in this corner. So you guys are telling you, this is a lot easier if you got like a workshop. All right, so I'm gonna start just shaving away from the furthest until we can get this thing into the right shape. Man, look at all that new root growth. This thing was already root locking. These things grow like weeds, you guys. Where I'm living, out in essentially a river valley, I live in a river valley, so these river birch are like weeds, dude. I've got a bunch of them out in my collection. Right now is actually probably a good time to bust out this new tool that I just got that I'm very stoked about. My new root pick. I was gonna go with a root rake, like a lot of the traditionalists like, but this pick actually works a lot better, I think. And my wobbly light's gonna fall over, so let me just, yeah. Yeah, you guys get a good view of it. Like, look at all that. Look at that. My God. I'm trying to keep this as close to a slab slide as possible, but I'm gonna have to do some serious pruning here to make this fit. There's just so much new root growth, and it's all radial. Look at that. Oh, the bottom layer is just shaving right off. Damn. This has been a successful experiment, I've got to say, and I love to say. That's so dope. So this is all gonna get trimmed back, even though it's really nice radial new root growth. We get to just dictate the shape and formation of the roots a little bit more here. We don't want it to grow down, we want it to grow out. But picking back at the lower area, like look at this, it's just coming right off. And then I'm even starting to run into some more of that drainage layer down here. This seems to be working fantastic. Got our little blocker there from the drain hole. Jeez, this is good substrate I mixed. It's topsoil and a lot of river stone and some lava stone. So obviously I mixed a really nice substrate for this. So I probably want to keep as much of it as I can on top of this akadama layer, or the lava rock layer that I just laid out. Okay, this is a big old ball of new roots here, so I'm not gonna disturb that. Let's just let it start dropping off the bottom again and get my other blocker. What an interesting little tree. Okay, pull back all of this dirt. See that? That's huge. That entire region just falls out. It's like I can almost send this over the edge if I need to. It's just some dirt down here. Okay, so I'm gonna try and pack some of this under so that it's shapely for my new piece. I'm thinking that the front's gonna have to really get tucked back, but let's say if we go from here, let me turn it so that you guys can see what I'm thinking out loud. Look at all this substrate that I'm pulling out. It's such a big pot. I don't know what we're gonna put into that one. Maybe we're gonna stick our choke cherry over there. Let's see, it looks like I can remove some more here. This is all good stuff to haircut or tuck. I can tuck it and then pull it outwards so that it's got that radial shape again. But any real large roots like this one that I'm holding right here should probably get pruned. Especially ones that wrap around. That's a pretty big taproot right there. And I don't see a ton of work happening from it, so this should all survive without. Okay, so I'm getting a much better shape here, guys. This has stayed nice and flat for me. This is probably gonna have to get trimmed, so let's go ahead and do a trim. Because now we're getting too long. This is the stuff that, when I potted it originally, I was working with a bigger basin, so I was like, I'm just gonna tuck this back and call it good. But in this case, I'm gonna cut this off right here. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I hope I didn't... Oh, okay, there wasn't much in there. That was just my little compost thing that didn't have a lot in it. Just making sure I didn't make a disaster. I'm just using my root cutter because I can feel exactly what I'm cutting through. I want to make sure that it's the right stuff. There's a really thick taproot that goes all the way to here, and I have a feeling that that's what's going to limit us. So this is what we're going to attack, is this taproot. Oh man, there's a lot growing off there, but that's okay. We're going to have to do it. Okay, let's pull out the snips. And this is almost like I've got to cut this thing to shape here, so it'll actually fit in the new basin. There it goes through the big, 2 large tap roots right there. Those had to get cut. I was saying the other day, there was kind of a funny thing that I saw. Somebody started a little bonsai cart business, and bless their heart, but they named it Taproot Bonsai. And ironically, the taproot is the one thing that you don't need. I mean, this is another taproot I'm thinking about taking out over here. Hopefully it's not too much stress on the tree though. Nah, there's a lot growing underneath. I'm gonna be bold here. Oops. I really shouldn't be doing this type of training on these big roots when I'm in the middle of this big growth season, but I can be a little risky with these trees. Like I said, they grow very easily, and also, hey, what's going on, Hexy? They grow really easily, and I think that they're very hardy, so I'm not too worried about killing it. Let's take a look at the bottom. See, still lots of white roots popping through, still a lot of really fine roots that we want to hold on to. It's the big tap roots that we want to get rid of, so that's why that guy kind of chose a silly name for his business. I see what I did last time. So last time I actually aligned these roots up high. This time I'm going to go low, and it's going to allow me to kind of create like a little hobbit hole here. You guys can see this little spot underneath the branch. That might be cool. How you doing? So let's see. Damn, I got oh, damn, you're stacking them up. Hell yeah. Nice, nice, nice. I've been kind of slacking on some of that stuff because I've been thinking about dropping stream elements. They've been doing a few things recently that have really annoyed me. I like the idea of having our little chat bot and channel points, and you know, we have a lot of these long streams where it's kind of just me yapping and working on trees, and so if there's some fun stuff to do in chat, I'm all about it, especially if it's easy to set up. But I want it to be like, you know, somewhat customized and, you know, not just like cliche slop. So I'm trying really hard to make it nice, but Stream Elements isn't exactly working with me in the best way. Okay guys, so like I said, this is essentially a slab slide rather than a full repot, and I think that we're gonna have success. Let me see how far back. Okay, so that's stopping me there, and this is stopping me here. I think that I can actually fit this in the pot as is with all of the roots intact. So I'm not gonna do any more cutting off of the root system. I'm gonna get a bit more of this like real rocky native soil that he was in, because he was really loving this stuff. So I'm gonna spread this around. I think this actually came from the river, so this is literally native soil to the tree, and it's gonna really encourage that growth. Okay, so let me just kind of poke it down into the lava rock, because I know that some of it's gonna start sinking in as soon as I start watering it anyway. A little preemptive pack in there. How are you doing today, Hexy? Hope you're having a good one. Welcome, welcome. It's been a really fun couple of days. We've had lots and lots of folks popping in and popping out. We've had Tassadul in earlier today. I think he might be doing some of his own art now. And then yesterday during our stream, we had Brian TV, good friend of the channel, pop in and drop 5 gift subs and start a hype train for us, which was super epic. So it's like every single stream has just been kind of a blessing recently, you know? I've gotten to work on trees and oh, look at that. We get like a semi-cascade style from this. Let's see. A lot of people supporting the channel and enjoying it, and that makes me very, very happy. Okay, so this is kind of the backstop here. Is it possible for me to do this? Hang on. Let me look at something. This feels like a big tap root here, but I feel like I can push it down. I can. Ooh, I can. Ooh, I can. Okay. So as long as I don't break this, I just want to bend it downwards. And then let me try and use some leverage here. So we're gonna get all those roots underneath. And then I want leverage on this part right here. And then we'll pop back in here. And I don't even think that we're gonna need any wire for this. Make this a true slab slide. I didn't have to do anything except for pull it out of the old one, shape it up, and drop it into the new basin. So let's see how we can pack it in. And you get a little more of this native soil into here. All right, and we saved all of that nice natural moss that's super green and very healthy right now. So it's gonna have a nice spot to spread right here. Get some more of this fine topsoil. Okay, just kind of stuff it in there. Okay, let me grab a few pieces of this lava rock now, and this is gonna get stuffed right into the corner here to make sure that this root stays in place, because that's part of what's stabilizing the entire tree. So sometimes if you're smart with your substrate, like where your larger tap roots are ending, you just push in a little bit of this lava rock and you don't have to use wire at all. Matter of fact, I even got too much. Let's move this back. This is gonna look way cooler now. Okay. So let's give it a little sprinkle. Have you been playing some games, Hexy? I gotta admit, I've been super busy with a bunch of like real life stuff, so I haven't been able to like check my notifications and see if people are streaming. I haven't been watching much of anybody recently, but I do try to pop in and say hi whenever I can if I'm awake, not working, whatever it is, you know. But I haven't seen you online, I don't think. Otherwise I would have come in and said hello, giving you a little jazz hands wave. Cool, so we've got this big old recess right here. Let's think for a second. First off, let's pull out this weed. Gotta dump the weed. Toss the weed. This moss is so beautiful. Alright, I'm gonna go. Okay, so hang on. What I gotta do here is get now the front taproot, like I said, kind of separated as much as possible, but still holding this into place. So probably like that. That right there seems really good. This lines up perfectly right here with the edge of the basin. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab some more of this like really rocky stuff and start stuffing it under there. And remember, I can kind of alternate back and forth with this natural substrate that it was in between the kind of large river rock that's in there. And and then I can kind of just carefully sweep the top and get a nice grip that doesn't have a bunch of that in there. It's more just the nice top soil that was from the river. Real healthy soil. And I think that we've got plenty of lava in here that we're gonna have good drainage. One thing I'll do for the health of the tree here, an isopod. Look guys, there's an isopod climbing across. Want a close up of the isopod? Hey, we have a master of the branch. Check it out. I love it when we find these little guys in here. Let's play a game, guys. Can you spot him? Spot the isopod. Can you find him? You have 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. He's right here. Oh, he just started moving too. What you doing, buddy? Isopods are a sign of a very healthy, soil environment. And now I'm trying to get him to climb up on my little toothpick here, but I don't want him to roll up in a ball and get scared. So I'll just leave him where he's at. Can you guys see him? He's on the stick. He's right. Yeah. There he is. King of the hill. I'm glad he's up there because I'm about to start pressing some pretty gnarly rocks into this. I'll leave you guys in this perspective too. Something I'm going to do really quick is I see a lot of the fresh root system growing here, and this is where I've had to do some pruning and some messing with it a bit. So I'm going to drop a little bit of rooting hormone in there just to help encourage some jump back with the bump back after the replant in the late season. This is seriously badass moss going all the way up, protecting that lower root system. Needs some room for it to spread here. Should work great. These are really small. I don't know if you guys can see them, but there's little tiny things that are growing up. Not this is grass. Little tiny things that are growing up from the moss, and maybe if you're up this close you can see it. It's things like right here. There's one, and there's a bunch of them growing right here. These are all going to start dropping little spores. Those are all signs of nice, healthy moss. It's going to start dropping spores and wanting to spread, and hopefully it spreads over to right here. I'm actually going to flatten it out so that it makes hopefully a nice, perfect little moss thing in there. And what I'll often do here is I'll also throw a few lava rocks over it, because the moss will grow in and around the lava, but this will help keep everything in place. And it won't wash away the dirt. I try to use a light shower on my hose when I'm watering the plants. But if it's just dirt, it'll wash away. So I'm just gonna pack a little bit of this in here. Just doing it by hand. That's fine. Get my tools back in place so they don't get lost. Okay. Pack this side in. And like I said, I put a couple of rocks in here. It's already starting to creep on me a bit from pushing back here. See? Trying to keep an eye out for the isopod, make sure that he doesn't get in our way. All right. I think that now when we fill in this area, this is a lot of the topsoily stuff right here. Oh, there he is. He's crawling down into the dirt. He's right in the middle. Do you guys see him? There he is. Do you see him? He's on top of the world. He's taking a run for it. No, bud. Here, let me put this in here for you. Look. Look, 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 look. Stay over here. Yeah, look, good dirt. Yes. Good dirt. Hang on, dog. I gotta pack some rocks in here before you make your home. Okay, so there's some rocks to hold this in place. I want to get one like right up on it. Right here. Oh good, he's actually moved over to the other side. He's hanging out in the moss now. He's safe in the moss. Anybody in chat, do you feel like naming our isopod for this particular tree? I'll drop it into the notes of my log, because I'm making a log to keep track of all of the trees, you know? He's like, what the hell is going on over here? Is it a lava rock now? That's right. I really want this to lift. Man, I wonder if I can get like a couple of big rocks in here and get this to lift. Yeah. Ah, that's like a leverage rock right there. If I can get this stuck in the way I want it to. Yeah. I like this. Kind of throws off the moss here a little bit, but let's just put a little more dirt in. There you go. See, he's been following and he's keeping track of our work, making sure that we're doing well. What do you think? He's inspecting our work. Do you guys see this? There's literally an isopod following us around, making sure that we do a good job on this tree. He's right here. Inspector Rolly. What we should call him, huh? Inspector Rolly. Do you approve of the job over here? I've got this rock kind of propping up the tree a bit, separating it from its root, so that the root grows downward, but the tree stays upward. I think it has a much better shape that way. Yes, yes. He's checking the first key metric in bonsai, which is balance. He's checking the balance. So we'll let him do his work as we continue to add more stability over to this side. Stuff in just a bit more stone and everything like I was down here. Aha. And see, we're even starting to see a little bit of give here. I see. You guys, we're gonna do something bold here. Check this out. Let's keep doing more bold stuff. I hope that this doesn't fuck the tree up too bad. There's the stone there. We'll see what happens if I start pulling back some of this root. The inspector's right here, so he's overseeing the whole thing. Sir, we've made it about halfway through the tree. I'm just wondering how much I can expose safely here. Here, let me remove the moss from the other side to see what we even really have to work with, because we can only go so far. There. I think that this goes all the way to the main trunk. So now we've got a chance to tuck down all of this. Here, see? Inspector, what do you think? He's chilling over here now. He's got a good view of the work, okay? So, yeah, you're right. Down here needs to make sure that it stays. Yep. No, I didn't forget about that. I mean, who's really in charge here? I feel like I'm more of like the subcontractor and he's more of the superintendent at this point. There we go, yep. Check from the top again. How are we looking? I hope you guys get to see all of this nicely, because it's just so cool that he's hanging out with us like that. If it's big enough on your screen, you should be able to see he's right there. Up in the crow's nest. Guys, I think we might be able to go all the way through here. Clear back to here. I'm gonna sacrifice a bit of this root matter. bounce up real high, real close. It's a little risky. So we do have that one support rock right there, and I think I'm gonna put a second support rock down here. Stability, and also to help, like I said, dictate that no more roots come through here. So I'm gonna put two flat little rocks under there, and they can be poked out really at any time when I need to, or once once their purpose has been served, I should say. Inspector, where you at? Okay, yep, still up on the pirate's nest, or the, what do they call that? Crow's nest? What do they call that up on a ship? He's up on the crow's nest. Yep. Check one more time in the back. We have maintained security all through the back and stabilized everything to the point that I see no problems. We just keep tucking this moss back when it needs to be. Okay. All right. So he wants to check this out again. Yeah. We're looking good over here. Stability rocks are starting to seem less and less necessary, honestly. Now that we've layered back some of the root system, really I can just leave this one right here, and that should be enough. That's a good call. You're right. This is more efficient use of materials. That's why he's calling the shots, I guess. Means that we can just backfill with whatever we scrape over here by hand. See, sometimes you just need a second set of eyes. I don't know if isopods have a set of eyes, or if they got like 600 of them, you know. They might have a ton of eyes, so that could definitely have something to do with just that eye for the details. Sometimes when I miss. All right, so he's gonna go ahead and go up that long ass branch right there and take a break, I suppose, from whatever we're doing. I want to put a few stones in here along with more of the native soil. Lots of the native soil. Stones on top are just to help keep it at that radial level like I was talking about, that's inside the basin and not up above the basin. At this point, any roots that are still showing either need to be covered with moss, tucked down, cut off, or turned into nabari somehow. Alright, so I think that one more good spread of that natural soil in here is going to pack it nice and tight. This is sick. Whoa! Hopefully we didn't just send the superintendent flying. Alright. I think he was up on that branch anyway. We're looking real good, guys. Okay. So I would say that this was a successful job here. I'm going to throw a little bit of this fine akadama on this side. I'm sorry, I keep calling it akadama, but it's fine lava rock. Again, hopefully it'll grow moss underneath. You guys are intensely close. There. And this actually gives this nice little like effect. It looks like there's a little stone path going up to it. I can pack it in just a bit. Oh, superintendent's fine. I see him right here. All right. And after second thought, I'm gonna pull this large lava off the back and put more fine lava down here. It's fine stuff. I got tons of it. Might as well use it. Matches nicely. Okay. He's climbing up high now, so I'm a little bit concerned about his altitude without any type of safety equipment up there. But you know what? Sometimes you gotta live boldly, I suppose. Ah, for the love of the game. This turned out to look so much better in this trainer pot. You can tell that it was just thrown into the last one. Guys, I am very impressed that pretty much every job we do is turning out to look really nice. Look at that. There she is. A nice successful transplant. I think it's gonna do fantastic in terms of growth. It's got this really cool opportunity to cascade down off the edge. It's also growing up this way. It leaves this whole third for, you know, possibly a little decorative figurine or something if I felt like it, but yeah, there you go. It fits. It has a little bit of an unconventional seating in terms of where it would normally sit, I feel like. I'll stick a quick stone into this corner. Make sure this corner stays snug. There we go. All right. So yeah, there's the bonus project for the day. That was a fun one. Came across a friendly critter along the way, climbing around in here. And we're gonna get this tree outside, get it watered, then get on to the next one. I got a huge mess to deal with here. I don't know what the next best move is. It might be a transplant so that I have some of this good soil to use in the next pot as filler. So we'll have to see about that. Oh, my poor feet. I've been on like a curled toe standing for a while here. I'm gonna toss this river moss from the job that's no longer needed into another piece. I'm just gonna stuff it in with the hazelnut tree the chestnut tree for right now. It'll just sit on top of the chestnut tree. All right, guys, time to say goodbye to this tree and then on to the next project. I'm not even sure what I'm gonna bring in. Let's see. A whole list. I suppose I should probably do a repot. Not sure which one's gonna go next, but let me throw up the BRB. And I think I'm probably gonna have to throw up. Nah, not a timer, but I'll at least give you the BRB here. Add some bonsai. It's not snowing today, so it's just tree swap. Oh, quick is spelled wrong. That's wild. I've had that wrong for a long time. Q-U-I-C-K. A quick wellness break. All right, there we go. All right, guys, we will be right back in just a couple of minutes. Swapping things out. Let's see, I don't know what we're gonna run next. Let me go have a look at our inventory and I'll be back. There's that final look. It's pretty sweet, huh? Nice. it's houseplant edition. We're doing a quick houseplants edition. Quick houseplant repot, everybody. Check out this beast. This absolute monster of a spider plant. Just to give you guys an idea of these things. I just took off 2 more of these spiders to propagate them into their own thing. But this had some big problems with holding water. Holding way too much water. But look at how tall it is. That's one of my houseplant emergencies, guys. That thing there. That big old thing. So that's gonna get repotted into this right here. And then I've got 1 more. It's gonna be a monstera into an even bigger pot. And then I've got another job that I'll share with you at that point. I'm about to delete Facebook because I'm so sick of Facebook giving me updates because I never use their platform. I used to use it all the time for work, but I do not use it. I can't stand Facebook, and they will not stop sending me updates on my phone. Let's pot this plant. This is some really good mulch. This, as I said, is some really good lava rock over here. We're gonna want to drop a screen in. So let's do a few things. Let's get a screen on, and then we're gonna hit it with. This is a little bit more fun. Actually, no, it all came from the same spot. Hit it with some lava rock. Whoa. Hold it in place and hit it with some lava rock. There. This is lava rock all the way up to here now. Perfect drainage. Should work great. I think that this planter was like $16 at Home Goods, if anybody's curious where I get my stuff from. This is actually my girlfriend's piece here. Oh, here. You don't have to be looking up at that thing anymore. You can be looking down at this thing. This one kind of like that. It's a lot of me. More plant. A lot of me. There we go. How's everybody's day going? Anybody who might be creeping around there in chat, lurking around in the channel. How's your day going? Hopefully it's awesome. I'm Grove Super PNW. Oh, I forgot to put root hormone into that hole that I discussed in the last plant, but that's okay. It didn't need it. It's growing like crazy. I threw it right back out in the sun and got water on it, so it's good to go. Doing healthy. All right, so I'm gonna have to fill in and like backfill a lot of substrate here. And this thing, I really want it to grow a lot. So I'm gonna use a lot of this river. I'm gonna use some of this bark substrate, and I'm gonna use some of the lava rock. Let's give it a bit more lava. A couple handfuls here. There we go. Now we've gone up quite a bit. We're gonna have to go up more, but I got all of this stuff from the last tree over here. This is all kind of large stone and river dirt. It's good backfill. This will work just fine for backfill. Like I said, I can just use this in the next project. Here we go. Okay, filling that up quite a bit here. There we go. Stuff's all full of roots. I'm gonna leave that out. Gathering up as much of this backfill dirt as I can. It is all over the tray. So this is hitting 2 birds with 1 stone. Cleaning up my tray. and backfilling the next. Okay, so that's probably sufficient for getting stuff backfilled enough that now it's actually the plant. There's part of the last tree. Goodbye. I'm gonna throw in some mulch here, just regular dry mulch. Regular dry mulch. And then I'm gonna put this up all around the outside here. It does a good job with houseplants to maintain the moisture while they're soaking up their waterings, but then draining off just as we need it to. I'm even gonna mix a bit more of this lava rock in with it at this point. One handful. There we go. And then this is a nice substrate for houseplants. I think it's gonna be much happier. Okay, so I'm gonna pull this all to the outside. And then comes the tough part with this one. It is, I don't know, like 4 feet long. So I'm gonna have to like kind of drape it over and pull it back in order to transplant it. So let's get at that. There's also a little bit of a string of dolphins in here that I'm gonna try and keep alive. This is just a prop from a string of dolphins that I had last year that I dropped in, and it's still going. So let's see if I can get all this in one solid flip without destroying everything, guys. I've never repotted a spider plant like this before, so this could be pretty risky business here. I know it's in here tight. Yep, I'm probably gonna have to go through with the I guess I'll just use this and cut around the outside to make sure that it comes up okay. Yeah, I can feel the stone and stuff at the bottom of this that I used as my last drainage layer, but unfortunately this thing has become root locked to the point that the soil is so compacted that when I water it, the water does not go and drain down to the roots. It just pools on top. And that's a surefire way to kill your plant if you leave it like that for too long. So let's get it into a happy new home. Hopefully it'll pull out just that plug there that I was saying of the roots and such. Yeah, my string of dolphins feels this. You know what? I've got a skinnier item for this. One sec. I got just a thing. There we go, paint scraper thing here. Man, this thing's jammed in there. I'm gonna have to do the old blizzard technique and flip it upside down and just let everything fall out, I think. Alright, YOLO. A little bit of mess to clean up coming from this. Come on, plant. Come on, big strong plant. Big strong plant, come on. Do I really need to release this side too? It is really root locked on this side, I guess. There, it's really starting to give a bit more. Is the music too high, guys? Or do we have a good groovy level? Hopefully it's not too loud. God dang, man. This is serious. Such a fragile plant like this, I can't be jerking it around like this. I gotta get like something underneath and pull it out. Come on. alive. This thing is so in there. I just don't understand. Come on, guys. Thought it would be real happy to get out of here. There's just so much going on right in this corner. All right, let's dig her out. Here she goes. Here she goes. Huge root mat. Oh my gosh, is this entangled in a... I think that this is entangled in a mesh. It might be entangled in a mesh down there. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. Aha. I can see it. I can see it. I can see it. Keep pushing. Keep pushing. Keep pushing. Yes. Ah. That is root lock, folks. Holy shit. I thought that this was wrapped up in a... Oh. I thought this was wrapped up in a mesh at the bottom, and that's why I was having such a hard time coming out. That is root lock, folks. Megan. You gotta see this thing. Jeez Louise. Woo, jeez. Holy God. Wowza. That's crazy. This was in there so long. The roots of this thing are like orchid roots. They're huge. With tons and tons. Look at this thing. Well, the camera's over here. Don't worry about that. I just in pajamas and self-conscious. Look at the root lock on this. That's why it's been turning brown at the tips. My God. That's wicked. These are like carrot-sized roots. Look at that.
It's a healthy plant.
Well, it's going to be a lot better now. It wasn't happy, but now it will be. I think we lost our string of dolphins along the way. I don't know where it went, but this thing was in there so hard. I literally thought it was wrapped up in a mesh. Look at this. This is insane. I had no idea it was this fat. Oh. Way too long.
All of them are in this one.
Oh my God, dude. Well, buckle up, folks. It's gonna be a long stream. Is that? Oh, okay. Oh my God. This is nuts. I've never repotted one of these plants before either. Did you see the one propagation that I put on the window for you? There's one on the window that I cut off today. It has to start reaching for water, but like if it starts doing this, it's not gonna have any problem. Like it's so bad for the plant to be root locked like this. These are really healthy, brand new roots. Oh, dog cam. Flip that camera open. That's next to you. It's by your foot. Yeah, flip that open. Yeah. Just keep pointing in that direction. Is that dog cam? Lay down. Oh, she'll do it on her own. Tell her to sit. Oh, good girl. Right on the dog cam. What a sweet girl. Alright, well, if you bump that, it's just going to show my feet, so, and your feet. And she's not wearing socks, and we might get a whole bunch of viewers all of a sudden. Houseplants and toes, baby. Is that how we're going to make it, folks?
Can you see Maui on there?
Yeah, it's really dark. That's one of my shitty cameras. This is my new 4K camera over here. Do you see how bright it is? Yeah, I have to adjust the brightness on the other one because that one's normally looking at my face up at the up on the monitor when I'm playing games. But when I'm not playing games, it's dog cam. Dude, I'm doing way more work to this thing than I thought. Holy shit. I had no idea. This has been the most useful, like, $7 pickup on Amazon. I promise, guys, I'm going to put together a whole list of affiliate links for y'all so you can get all of the best tools in one place. Because, like, this thing is going to last forever. I'm a big fan of high-quality, buy-it-once stuff. I mean, this thing has lasted me seasons already, and I've cut so many weeds outside with it. I've repotted so many trees with it. And it says Taiwanese, but I've found the exact same one that says Japanese made, so I don't know if they're actually made in either of those places or just labeled that way. I used to work at a knife shop in Arizona, and they used to be all, oh, manufactured in the USA. It was all just Chinese garbage, you guys. It was just like the crappiest knockoff manufactured shit, and then they would manufacture it in some room and call it American made and sell it for like hundreds of dollars. And it was a ripoff. A scam, I say. Look at this bad boy. Woo! Ad break starts in 30 seconds. I better finish this thing up. Tuck it in. It's got a nice root spread here. Nice. This looks way better. And then we're just gonna top it off with mulch and lava mix like everything else. Hold it in place. Healthy environment. I'm tucking these roots real deep to make sure this thing really takes to its new environment. Come on. There. Oh, snuggly. Okay, careful of those. Down the hatch, down the hatch, down the hatch. And this is actually 2 stalks. It's not even a single stalk, it's 2 stalks. So this was kind of a double. It was way too big for that last one. Alright guys, like I said, one more round of lava, hold the thing in place, good drainage, and then some top layer of mulch because it looks nice and it drains quick and it won't overflow. That's a big thing, is that when I'm watering these, I don't want them overflowing in my house. They're like sitting on bookshelves and stuff, so it's a really bad thing if the top couple of inches are not quick drain, because it'll start spilling all over the books and stuff underneath it on the bookshelf. Even though I've got trays and stuff in the way to make sure that if there's an accident, nothing gets ruined. Okay. Tuck it in, tuck it in, tuck it in. Yup. And then they separate a little bit. Huh?
Very nice pot.
Nice pot?
I like it a lot.
Ow. I think this would have looked better in the, Oh, look at this shit. That's what it originally came in. That's what it's been growing in.
This whole time.
That is why it's been sitting there just going insane. Okay. Well, you gotta bust these things open to know what's going on, I suppose. This is actually filler from the nursery. I'll put this around the top. This is good stuff. This is all top level nursery filler from my $5 plants. Just the top level. They put a little layer of this like bark and stone. It's a good top layer. It won't wash out. There we go. And you probably won't even end up seeing most of this from where it's positioned anyway, but all right, doctor. I think that we're stabilized and ready to put it back and water it. Sick. One more down. Hell yeah. God, I love doing this. I love doing this with you guys. Make sure that you like the channel, subscribe, follow, all that good stuff if you enjoy it too. If you're not subscribed right now, you are probably in ad land. Sorry about that. And if you were a lucky recipient of a gift sub this week, thank Brian TV for that. Thank you so much, Brian TV, for the gift subs to the community, helping us grow. Oh yeah, I found that string of dolphins, and it does have a root. Look at that. Save it.
Put it somewhere.
All right, I'll stuff it in the back and see if it keeps going.
Or put it in the monstera.
Do you have like a little propagation pot you can put this in? Ooh. You know what? You can just stick this into one of those little water propagation things. All right, you guys got to see feet. Congratulations. She set herself up for it. All right. There it goes. Woo! All right, guys, I gotta put this thing away. It's huge. I'll be right back. Oh, this gives so much help. Okay, boys and girls, NBs and others, here we are. This is gonna be our next move right here. Hey babe, I think this pot's too big. I think this needs to go in the smaller one. Are you gonna put that pathos in the white? I'll do that one next. That one's gonna be sick. Okay guys, quick project on this one, and then we're gonna take a quick break so that I can, have a stretch, go outside, rethink my strat for the rest of the day. And I've got one more plant ready to go after that. For the moment, let's get this one replanted. This pot here had just awful soil in it. The drain hole completely plugged. Terrible drainage. Whatever was in here died. So let's try again. Put in a piece of mesh, as usual. And then this time we're putting in a good bit of this lava right in the bottom. I'm gonna run out of this stuff faster than I want. It's a good substitute for akadama, but yeah, it's still not cheap. So I've got to run to the bulk store usually and get like literally 2,000 pounds of it and sift it and separate it so that it's usable. It's a serious pain in the ass. It sucks. Alright, this is a nice big basin for this next one though. I think it's gonna be pretty happy. And we're gonna go in the same direction. Put some mulch down. Just a layer of mulch to kind of separate the akadama from the tree and the root system. That's gonna be right here. I'm sorry, not the tree. I'm working with plants today. Alright. Per plant. Let's see how this one's doing on the inside. Come on out. Come on. This one cannot be nearly as overgrown as the last one, right? They've been in these pots for way too long. There's the stones falling out of the bottom. Drainage. Come on. I feel something big in here. What is it? Is this root lock down here? Or is this that plastic that the last one was in? I can't tell. Here comes the plant. Okay. Alright, what are we working with? Much smaller root mass on this one. I see. Okay, I see how this one was set up. This one had a drainage layer and then an actual piece of mesh blocking it from the drainage layer. So a good attempt, but this tree's gonna be a lot happier like this. Okay. You can drop it back in here. I'm gonna give it a bunch more mulch. Some of this other natural substrate. And I don't really want to put in the heavy rocks again, but I might put in some more of that lava rock there just to break up the rest of this and bring it up to level. Okay, now let's see how that works. I saw a piece of wire mesh in there. Am I tripping? Oh, it stayed in the pot. Okay. There was a piece of wire mesh though. Okay, so this looks like a pretty good environment. So let's drop her in there. It's gonna need more backfill. I think I need one more indoor outdoor topsoil bucket, guys. So let me go grab that really quick and then this one will be done. Okay, got the rest of the dirt here, guys. So let's just fill her in. Okay. And I'm just gonna go around the plant, one handful at a time, packing it in. And this is gonna be much, much better. It's gonna start growing like crazy from here. It was very much being dwarfed and held back in its last pot. It's gonna start growing like crazy now. This stuff's gonna be awesome for the roots, and then as soon as it gets past that layer of mulch, nice quick drain. And then we made sure that our drain is nice and accurate at the bottom with a mesh covered with some lava rock, covered with some river rock to make sure it stays in place and doesn't get clogged up, so that this will continually drain for us. And I think that's about it. I don't think I need to do it too much more. I'll give it a little bit more there's dirt on top just to kind of even things out. And just to make sure, I'm going to mix in a bit of lava with this top layer just to ensure that it doesn't overflow on me ever. Make sure that there's, you know, kind of a route down through the mulch that's got some river rock in it, or some lava rock in it, so that it'll definitely drain down that direction. And then just kind of spread out from there. So now kind of the entire edge has a good drainage aspect to it. So it can soak in around the plant, but then still drain around the outside and not drown. Okay, just popping this back part in here. And voila. This prayer plant is going to be much happier now. That was a real quick one, just kind of another little bonus. You can see what kind of condition it's in right now, guys. In a few days, it's going to be so much happier. There's a lot of new shoots and new growth coming off of it. There's a new leaf right here, new leaf coming out here and here. It just needed room to grow. New leaf even coming in here. It was just being incredibly stifled and drowned and choked off all at the same time by that last one, that last pot. Okay, so I got a couple more projects on hand. Those are going to be coming right up, but I'm going to take my first, I guess, official long break. It's been 2 hours. I think I've earned it. So thanks everybody for being here so far. I'm Professor PNW. We're working on a bunch of plants today. If we get 10 concurrent viewers, we're going to do a huge air layer. Dude, if we even get like 5 or 6, I would probably do it. We'll do a huge air layer on my chestnut tree, but in the meantime, we'll just work on little stuff as people pop in and out and say hi throughout the day, which I always appreciate. I have a good time hanging out with you guys and doing this stuff. I could do it by myself in my backyard, but what's the fun in that? I mean, there's a ton of fun in that, but not for you guys. I like it, but you guys wouldn't be here along for the ride. Okay, let me make sure that this pot's ready for another transplant too. Starting to run low on the protective akadama layer here, or the protective river rock layer, lava rock. Oh god, guys, I gotta get my terms right. I'm all over the place. It's the most like akadama. It's my knockoff akadama. It's not akadama, not kadama. Maybe I need to like sell a product like that. It's like akadama, but it's river rock and a mix. And I can sell it cheap because substrate is too damn expensive. That's why I have to buy it wholesale and sift it myself. And it sucks. I hate doing it. Alright, so I just wanted to make sure that this drainage is nice and installed here for the next project. Alright, good. Now I'm gonna get this out of the way and we're gonna hit the BRB and I'm gonna take a quick break, you guys. I'll be back in just a little bit. I'll put the other tree down for you guys to see again. Take a break before I do that, and I gotta clean up my stuff a little bit in here still. Yeah, I was just talking to my girlfriend, and she's gonna have to help me move in the next plant because it's a very long one. It goes all over our entire bookshelf in our living room, and it needs to be repotted big time. This will all be good substrate for the bottom of that, and some of that, some of that, some of that. And I'm gonna get a bunch more lava rock while I'm out. And like I said, I'll continue to keep tease you guys with the new big cut if we can get 10 viewers today. So I'll put this up for now while we're in BRB mode, and I'll see you guys in just a few. this every now and then. It says it's reconnection successful. Welcome back, everyone. Jeez. I hate my internet. I'm gonna call them out big time, guys, for all of these fails. Disconnect, reconnect. Awesome. At least we're back. All right, on to the next one. Okay, so my next plan for this next plant is gonna be okay, so here we go. I was just freaking out thinking that I didn't pull the plug out of the last one. I'm positive I did though. I gotta water it and make sure, but almost positive that I got it out of there. It was already out. So this one needs a screen. Screens were everywhere. Where were they? Here's a screen. Perfect. Okay, so screen down. Then a bunch of lava. There we go. That'll hold the first layer down. And you guys don't even see what what plant we're working with yet. It's the biggest plant I have in my house. It's massive. Let me just make sure that my test stream is up. There we go. Yeah, so I'm about to move a massive plant in here. I'm gonna need the help of my girlfriend after I get it to the right level so I can just easily pull it out and drop it in. Because I don't want to have trouble with this one. It could be liable to give me some trouble. So let me find again my garbage bucket that fell over earlier. Whatever, we'll make a new one. It's my bucket of assorted things. So cleanly. Okay, let me get this stuff cleaned up a little bit. Alright, that's all going to be substrate for the next plant. I'm going to actually just start using these proper gloves. So I don't have to be so wasteful with all those plastic ones. But these got soaked yesterday, so finally they've dried out. Okay. So let's start filling up a little bit of substrate in the bottom of this thing. I'm gonna want to go pretty high with the lava on this. Not that high, and then I'm gonna mix it with mulch right here. And it looks like we are reconnected, everybody. I'm sorry if you got booted there. Maybe you have to reset the stream. Our internet's been acting up a little bit recently out here. I apologize for that. Alright, so I've just got a mix of mulch and lava about halfway up now. So it can grow, but it'll still drain quite a bit. And then I'm going to take all of this extra stuff I have here. This is mostly from nursery pot. So it'll drain. It's got lots of nutrients in it. It's good to have right around the plant. There's even some stones and things like that to help break it up and make sure that it drains. There we go. Just get all that in here. Get my gloves nice and dirty. Okay. It's getting up there. It's getting up there to the point that I think I can just do mulch with a bit of lava around the outside, and then I should be able to drop the tree or the plant right in. Okay, so I'm gonna mix that up and put it around the outside. There we go. Should be a nice mix. I have a feeling there's going to be a lot of roots to work with on this plant because it is very, very large. And I'm pretty sure it's going to be root locked as hell. So hopefully we can get a nice big spread for these roots to grow out and be nice and healthy. Pull some of these rocks out. Go in later. Okay, time to bring in the plant. Might need a tool ready. Let's see. All right, everyone, here we go. Okay, here it goes. Okay, coming, guys. Oh. Okay, you stay back like there, just so that it's pulled like not tight, but pulled enough. But here, can you hold it? You can kneel down and just kind of like hold it. Yeah. No, not in front. Like, oh yeah, you guys can see how long this is, but it's huge. I promise you, it's like 12 feet long. Okay. I don't want any snappage, so pull all these parts back towards you. I only want the very end of the plant. Yep, I want this part. Okay, let's see it. Look at that. It's so bad. And I can use that to kind of moisten what's going in here, but this thing is drowning right now. No drainage. I bet since it's so goopy, it'll all just come right out. Yep, pretty much. Ugh. Dude, it's root locked. Ugh. Okay. Let me get something to pull it out. Super root locked. Look at that.
It needs to breathe.
That's what happens when you leave your houseplants in too small of a container for 2 years. This thing's gonna be so much happier. Oh my god. Hey, babes, you gotta pull this back so it doesn't snap on these like. No. On that piece of wood right there. There you go. You gotta pay attention to this for a sec. Because they will snap if you let it get in the wrong place. Okay, so I'm gonna break these roots up. Hold them back. There you go. Let me just break this up. Might seem like I'm hurting the roots. I promise I'm not. They need to be broken up in order to spread out. Look, nice radial root pattern now instead of a bunch of roots that are wrapping around the outside. And this isn't a bonsai, so I don't mind if the roots go down. Plop. Nice. Okay. And then this is the nice convenient type that I can just tuck the root underneath. There. That one wasn't so bad. Okay, tuck all the roots around the outside. They'll start going down instead of in circles now. I can break up everything around the top so that there's no rot. the top of our stem. Yeah, I can tell the substrate that this was in was way too moist. So I'll leave it with all that moist substrate packed around the root ball here after I've broken it up. So I've taken it so that it was a ball and broken it out. So I'm not so concerned about the moisture anymore. It'll get sapped out into all of the mulch and lava that I'm putting around. So I'm gonna do a layer of mulch for the roots right there, layer of lava to make sure that it drains, and then we're good. Easy peasy. Okay. I don't want this mulch too tight because it can compact to the point where it'll just turn into like a mattress, like a soaked mattress when you water it. But that's why I do a layer of this on top. And then I kind of poke it in just to break it up a little bit. It also looks nice. I'm using up my lava rock fast. I'm gonna have to buy another 2,000 pounds soon. One more handful for one last side. This is also gonna hold the stems in place in the middle for me in a non-aggressive way. I don't get to wire these in like a bonsai, so the lava rock is big for holding it in place. And then, like I said, I'm pressing it into the bark underneath. As a matter of fact, this is when one of the bonsai tools is actually useful, because I gotta make sure that this drains. So this is kind of like a partial aeration here. It's a bad boy. You guys know I love this thing. My favorite. Okay, poke, 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 poke. Inwards towards the root system so that the root system goes through the rocks and the rocks aren't just breaking the roots. This is a huge upward root here that we don't need. Look at this. Get rid of that. Okay. I would say that this patient is just about ready to be watered and put back in place. Is anybody in chat counting? How many trees are we up to now? Is this like 4 today? Well, I should say trees and plants. I think we're up to 4 today. Okay, switch back to gloves, give it one more press, and then off to watering. Yep, I can feel this is gonna drain so much better. Everything will fall into place, everything will stabilize, but it's actually gonna breathe, it's actually gonna drain. Tons of room for the roots to grow. Voila! Mwah. Another one. I'll give it a little cleaning. How about that? Then we can put it straight back on the shelf instead of outside first. Okay, I think most of our houseplant emergencies are done, except for the Thai monstera that needs to move. That's a big pot. I'm gonna need a lot of substrate for it. So it's gonna be its own individual run of substrate. There. Just needs a little spot cleanup on some of the leaves and stuff, and one paper towel should do it. There you go. One more down. One more down. Whew. Wet paper towel for a finish? Sure. We'll polish. Get the dust off. It's like cleaning plates as a chef. Needs to go out presentable. There you go. Chef Ramsay would eat off that. Okay. I gotta water this thing and put it back. Another one down, guys. I'm not sure what the next project is. Let me go out and pick one. After I get this put away, of course. Huh? It's a little heavier than it used to be. Step over mouse. Ah. Let's do this one real quick, guys. I got a fast one. This little plant. Petra croton. Not sure what that is. A Petra. Let's repot it. Okay. Full on to drain. It's not a real big plant. So I want it just about to where like the end of the big bulge. The big outward circumference of the bowl is over. Then we can start filling it back up. Grab a glove. Hit it with some mulch. And a little bit of natural substrate. And then the rest should be pretty much what it's in already. There's a little bit of like decorative big bark on the top. I'm gonna pull that off and reapply it at the end. Kind of like that nursery mix. I think that's what this stuff is. It's the big bark off the nursery mix. And this one's probably pretty compacted too. Just going around the outside. Well, it's not all the way to the edge, otherwise it would probably be flipping over right now. So So this one hasn't completely outgrown this dish yet, I don't think. Let's find out. And this wasn't as bad of a dish. At least there's like a proper drainage and everything. I can already see it. Yeah, this one was not as root locked, but look, the roots are coming all the way down to the drainage screen here. They're stuck in it, see? All right, let's get these rocks out that were holding the old one. Okay. And then just to keep the dirt from under my nails, I'm gonna put another glove on. And see, this one's an easy one too, guys. We just break it up and drop it into the new spot. This one's been doing healthy. It's good to go. Nice, nice, nice. Nice, good roots. Break up some of this top. Then just drop it in. Try and center it. That looks pretty good right there. I'd like it up a little bit higher. Let me grab a handful of lava to put underneath it. Or actually, you know what? Instead of lava, I want to just pack more of the topsoil under it. Just directly under it. I've got bonsai brain right now, but for a houseplant, I should probably just put the soil under. There's some rocky soil to help keep it a little broke up on the roots there. All right, and then I'm just gonna kind of twist it back and forth into the dirt. Roots are radial now, so they'll go down and out in a nice fashion. And eventually this will pretty much turn into a tree. I mean, these get really big if you keep repotting them and getting them into larger and larger containers. So I'm gonna go one handful of mulch and then one handful of lava to go around the native dirt that this was in. And it's sitting pretty nicely, but this lava is gonna lock it right into place. And look nice across the top, of course. Oops, seems like I dropped a lot there. I'll use that as substrate for something else. Okay, so like I said, just packing in some lava to make sure that the very top drains and it keeps this little tree in place. There you go, see? Handful of lava, spread it out, pack it in. There we are. That one was easy too, huh? Man, the trees take a lot more time. But most of our houseplant emergencies have been averted now. This one was probably the least concerning, but it was certainly getting to the end of its time in that pot. This was perfectly timed. The others were a little bit too late. All right. We'll see what we're gonna work on next as soon as I get this back outside and we get it watered. You guys ready for another air layering job maybe? Start butchering up another sand cherry? Could do that. Let me just move all my substrates and stuff because this is not a replant. Let me get me some plots for a minute, guys. I don't mind if there's dirt on here, but I do want to clean a clean marble to work on at least. There we go. And like I said, move my substrates. Here we go. All right, and we'll be on in just a minute here. Here we go, guys. So like I said, we're gonna do some air layering. We did it yesterday and everybody seemed to enjoy it. So hopefully this is a good view here, maybe. That's kind of a different perspective. Let's try that one. And we'll get to cutting some air layers on this thing. Let me just make sure that I have everything that I need. And get a couple things cleared out real fast. Definitely gonna need the dust buster over here later on. That's a bummer. Okay, I got my root hormone. That's good. I got my strings. Most of my strings. There's my strings. There we go. There's that. Really dirty gloves. I need to dry out. And I like to use a little bit of this mulch on the air layers alongside my sphagnum, which is over there. So let's try this. I'm just gonna put my mulch into here for now. There we go. And then I'm gonna need this thing over here. This whole tray. Oh, and this has my wet sphagnum and my mulch. Good. All right. Razor blades are in there, I think. Pretty sure we don't need anything else right now. So what do you say we bang out a couple of air layers? This is another $5 nursery treat for me. And I liked it because it has a number of really good air layers I can take off while also leaving these things down here and having some decent lower tree. Something to work with later on, but at least get maybe 2 to 3 air layers off of this. And these have a variety of potentials here. They could become yard trees or they could become bonsai. That's kind of to be decided. And where we place our cuts will help kind of dictate that. We like to clean up our tools in between. And before I start cutting into any trees, I like to just take a moment to like meditate on it. Just take a moment to be quiet. And I encourage everybody else maybe to, just take a second to breathe and just exist. Just exist for a moment. It's always been a good mantra for me if I'm dealing with an anxiety attack or some type of other really heavy event, anything like that. I tell myself to just exist for a little bit, and it seems to help calm my mind. Okay, I'm gonna cut off a little bit of bubble wrap for at least 2 of these. They're not that big around, but I want to make a pretty good size mulch ball for them. So we're gonna go about this far. Probably should have done this the other way because I'm right-handed, but it's okay. Swing. There we go. Cut these bad boys in half probably. Well, you know what? Maybe I'll go extra large on these ones and see if it helps. Because I've been trying different stuff out on different air layers. See what's the most successful. Doing a little bit of experimenting around here. But there's a few things for sure that we need. We need this over here. And you know, actually I've got rooting hormone over on this tray that I use with my mulch. You see the hormone powder right in the corner. I just drop a little bit of water on there and it turns into a paste and it works really, really well. Got some wet mulch in here. It's not very wet right now. So I'll probably add a little water to that. How's everybody doing today? Hopefully you're all having a good one. I'm just moving a little closer on the camera here for you guys. All right, nice wet sphagnum moss. We're gonna do big satchels. I'm gonna glove up. And we're gonna decide where our 2 to 3 layers off of this one are gonna be. One's pretty obvious. I'm gonna take this part and try and turn it into its own tree. I'm not gonna take it way down here for like a garden tree style. I'd rather have the shorter style with the flowers and the leaves at the top. So I've got a good spot picked out for a cut right around here. So let's go ahead and do that. You guys have a good view. Nice. Very, very nice. Hopefully that sign isn't too distracting in the back. I'm sure it's like right in the way. But we're cutting in right here. Actually, you know what? We're gonna go a little further down. We're gonna cut in right here maybe. That seems like a good height. We're gonna go right here. Okay, here we go. First off, I'm gonna take this string off. Okay, and we said right here. All right, so if it's your first time with us air layering, what I'm doing here is I'm cutting through the bark, and then I'm gonna go down about the distance of the width of the branch, and then do another mark. This is my tourniquet cut right here that's gonna eventually start scabbing over essentially with new bark down here. So I want to cut it pretty far from the top so that it doesn't cut, or so that it doesn't return all the way up to my top cut, because that's where all my brand new, ooh, wow, look at this real interesting cherry red on the inside. Wow, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. Look at that. The cadmium layer, instead of being like a green, is kind of a red. It's very like rosy pink red. That's beautiful. But I have to scratch through it. And that's and that's how we confuse the hormones of the tree to start growing roots all the way up here. But we're doing it right below a little node here where a branch would have popped off. So there's going to be a lot of attention the tree pays to this part of the tree being right there. There we go. There's the rest of the bark. I always have to check the back sides because I always miss some of the scrape if I don't spin it around. There we go. Scrape, scrape, scrape. That's incredible, the beautiful pink cadmium layer here. That's so cool. Instead of it being like a very deep forest green, it was like rosy pink. All right, so cut nice and deep down at the bottom, and then nice and level across the top. Make sure we get all the way down to cadmium. And that's the start of an air layer, folks. It's that easy to clone your tree. And that's gonna make a nice little piece right there. All right. Yeah, that really does seem very excessive at this point. I mean, I guess it's fine to be tall, but it could probably be cut in half. It only needs to go around like once if it's that tall. And I'm being a lot more generous on these ones. I'm almost second guessing how small I've been making my air layers a little bit. It's been a little bit of a worrisome thing to me that I'm going too small. So I'm gonna throw a few drops of water on this root hormone powder and brush. There we go. That'll make a nice little thick paste. So scrape it all together. A lot of it's in the brush. All right, so we've got rooting hormone here. Just brush it all over. Oh yeah, it's like running down the tree. So I brushed it all over the top. The top is the most important part to really get it and let it soak in there. But we'll get it all the way to the bottom too. Just all over. If anything, I want some to like drip down onto it from the top and really fill up that crevasse that I've created. There. So now's the perfect time to take a little bit of the wet sphagnum. And then this is how we do it. We take our piece of bubble wrap. And like I said, I'm going a little extra hard on these. I want a big fat root ball like that. That's a little excessive maybe for this size. Like that. Okay, so I'm even gonna give a little bit of this mulch, just the fine mulch on top. I want to make sure it's nice and wet though, so I'm going to press it through and make sure that it's kind of dripping. Okay, and that's good. I leave it a little bit loose on the top. I mean, there's debate on this, but I leave it a little bit loose on the top so that when I do water it, some more moisture will drop in because it's inevitable that it's going to get out. And I even want a little bit more water on all this, so here we go. Look at that, it all soaked up. None dripped out. It's just barely dripping. This stuff soaks up so much moisture, I'm telling you guys. Sphagnum moss is insane. Okay. Now it's feeling good. Nice and wet. Nice and juicy. Alright. So I want it so that the sphagnum's right on there. And it's going to grow nice, thick roots. Let me get my strings ready. There's one. And a little longer. There we go. Perfecto. Alright guys, let's loop this thing on here. Ready? Got a good view? Here we go. Alright, sphagnum right on there. And then the big, old, fat moss ball all around it. A plug. Big old moss plug. And then tuck that in. And then like I usually tell, I make this into like a funnel at the bottom. I tuck it, turn it upwards. And then if I can get a good tie on here, it should be good. I want to reach as high up on the bubble wrap as I can so that it's right underneath that ball of sphagnum moss. Boom, like right there. Now let me tie a knot. on, tie a knot. It's a little harder with the nitrile gloves. That's all right. The funnel's holding, the knot's holding, and looks like we're in. Okay. Now let's work our way to the top. I'm just gonna wrap it from the bottom all the way up, 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 and then kind of tuck all this in towards the top. I want to bring this up a bit. Boom, right like that. Smoosh it down. And then just bring it all together into a little bundle. Let's tie it up. All right, yep. It was just the first one of the day for this. Bottom side was a little bit rough. So let's do one twist around, and I'm gonna do one more knot at the bottom. I'm even gonna grab onto this. Okay? Come here, you. Come here. Get over here. All right. I'm not going to get that last piece of bubble wrap I wanted, but I am going to get the last tightening knot, and that should be a perfect air layer, guys. And then we'll have our whole new tree right there. Boom! All right, one down. Now we have to make decisions on what we want to take. Let's start separating things away. Obviously, we've got our one side over here. This is the biggest trunk, and we're taking the top part, so we're hopefully gonna have some ramification down here. You can already see that there's two fresh little branches right here. And I'm thinking I wanna keep these two as part of the tree as it's regrowing itself, because we can have it kind of cascade down this way across. So it has some type of style, at least while it's regrowing. And then we've got growth on this branch. We've got growth on this branch a good ways up. So this is almost maybe worth keeping too. So we could have it kind of this style. For at least like a season, you could do that for a season. Or we could take this top part right here, which would be really just getting the tree back down to a better taper anyway with these lowers. I'll have to think about that, but I think that a pretty easy, like, no-brainer is to take this one right here, because this is gonna have to get chopped all the way down probably and become gin towards the bottom. This whole branch is not really going to contribute as a bonsai if we're cutting up top. So this branch comes off and it's going to become its own tree. And the rest I might keep on its own, at least for now. And it can have this kind of sweeping style, and I can get it planted into a proper pot eventually after these air layers come off. So let's do it. Let's do it. Where's a good spot to put the roots? How about right there? I think that looks pretty good. So we'll go top right here. I wonder if it's gonna have that nice pink layer underneath the bark again. So I'm thinking that different branches that are of different ages might have a different color. Okay. That's a pretty deep groove there for the top. There we go. And then I'm gonna go down, like I said, about, I don't know, a half an inch. My European viewers, how much, I should say, how many millimeters is a half an inch? I really need to be learning these. Is a 1/2 inch like 10 millimeters or 12? Or is it way less than that, probably? I'm not sure. I'd have to think about it for a second. And I'm thinking about something else right now. There we go. Okay, let's peel her off. Oh, yeah. Like I said, I went aggressive with that top one. This is gonna come off as a perfect cinnamon stick. Oh, it broke in half at the last second. There's most of it though. Okay. There's the new cut. Let's take a look. Should work fine. Let's give it a scrape. You guys can really see the difference in color like right now. I mean, this is the best time you're gonna be able to tell. There's this one line right here of white and the rest is all this pink. Check out. As I shave away, this is getting rid of essentially the circulatory system of the tree. I think this may technically be a shrub, but I'm gonna call it a tree. Sometimes the lines are a bit blurred when it comes to bonsai. Okay, so we scrape, 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 and all that pink is going away. Now it's just turning to a nice normal wood white. Kind of whitish brown. And I really want to get it off the top here. That's the most important because the top of this cut is where all of my roots are going to develop. And the bottom is where it's going to try and start healing itself. And I don't want those 2 points to meet, so I got to make sure that I sever the entire round here. See a little on the back there. And now I'd say that's a pretty clean cut. Ready. Okay, let's hit it with the growth hormone. Still just tons of this nice goopy stuff to throw on here from the top up. Better for it to drip. Ah, got some in my eye probably. I hope I don't get roots in my eye. Some Resident Evil shit. Looking like a Silent Hill monster. I'm Flower Face. I'm Sakura Head. Ah. Now I got myself freaked out, even though it's probably nothing. I think that might not have even been any of this stuff. I'm freaking myself out. Don't worry about it. Alright. More of the goo. Yup. Looking good. Looking good, mate. Okay. Alright. Let's hit it. Wrapper. Grass. Does kind of look like really bad reefer. Okay, just like that. You know what? It's just easier if I do it this way. All right, there we are. And then a bit of mulch just to help the grow along a little bit. Make sure that it gets nice and wet. Even though I put this dry mulch in, I still want it to be nice and wet. Up, yep. It's dripping out the sides. As long as it's dripping out both sides, we are good. Okay. Sphagnum holds on to a ton of moisture, so it should be alright. Okay, so I'm kind of folding it over and then re-rolling it here just to mix everything up. Because remember, it's going to be a plug. It's going to be kind of this shape. Alright, looking good, looking good. There's some extra liquid in here. Nope, just moss. Let me do this. There we go. Little moss to moss liquefaction. I gotta go with the best angle for me on this one, guys. And that's gonna be just like this. Here we go. Okay. Form the plug. Plug formed. Plug formed. Moisture levels are optimal. We're gonna fold in. First fold successful. Second fold is going to be the start of funnel formation. So we're gonna tuck everything else up and in and form that funnel. Okay, right there. Ready for tie number 1. Come in. Tie number 1. Okay, placement's good. Got a cross. We're going straight for the knot here. Kind of an ambitious move, but sometimes boldness is rewarded. All right, so we got the first turn knot, and that's a huge advantage. Okay, because that means it's going to be ultimately tight to hold on to all that moisture. Let's give it one more wrap around as I form the plug. You know what? Actually, I'm going to go for a top tie real fast. Go ahead and just secure the patient. Everything's looking pretty good so far. Honestly, that one tie could be just the ticket. Okay, pinch off the top. Then I'm gonna kind of like plug it up again, like I said, just pull it together. Bada bing, bada boom. And you know, another kind of cool thing about using this bubble wrap is it kind of grabs onto the string for you a little bit. Whereas some smoother plastics like a piece of akadama bag or something like a lot of people like to use would just kind of slip off. Ah, see, another nice tie. This bundle is set. I'm gonna just tie it off right there, double it. That's good. This one's good, right? I'll give it one more safety knot. It's all getting cut off at the end anyways. There. Okay, we got 2 air layers, and I think that that leaves us enough that this can leave the swoop here. And I just honestly think we need to take this top part off here. I think we're gonna do one more mini one right here. This one's so small it could almost be a cutting. Or maybe I'll leave it. Let me see. This looks kind of cool this way. And then it could have the follow-up from this one and this one. All right, I'll leave these 3. I'll leave these 3. And then it'll at least have some type of style while it tries to do a little bit of ramification towards the bottom. But that's the problem, is I want it to do more ramification towards the bottom, not this long spindly shit. But it could be its own style, just like that. It'll be unique amongst the trees I've got. It's not my favorite style, but it's kind of the laterale style, where there's not much going on with the trunk. It does have a cool nabari. It's just that it's gonna have to work its way out, and then you've got your action going on out along here. See towards the camera, go off to the side. And then these 2 uppers are going to be gone in 4 to 6 weeks. So I guess I'll leave it like that. I don't have any good wire to like put this into a position, do I? Oops. Let me see. There are a few air layers that I need to start wiring into shape outside. But if this tree was to take on this image that I'm talking about here, I'm probably thinking it would like, I'm just gonna anchor it onto its neighbor here, and then is like my only piece of good wire, by the way. Like my only decent copper wire. And I'm using it on this. Whatever. I don't even know if it'll fit. Hang on. We'll see. If it doesn't reach long enough to even be worth, then I'm going to take it off. Just might. Hang on. Yeah, it does not like the placement of these. Okay, fine. There. And I'll go underneath you. Does this wire allow for what I'm looking for? Or I can go like this. Uh-oh, I just lost a little cutting. I'll try and drop that into a mame pot and see if it helps keep it alive. Probably gonna lose both of these lowers, man. That's too bad. Instead of wrecking all my lowers, I think what I need to do is just maybe cut this off and try and use it as a I don't know what to do. I'm not gonna wire it, I know that. I'm just trying to decide if I want to cut this off or not. I mean, I've unfortunately just cut off one of my lower ramification branches that I kind of needed by goofing around. I also twisted up my wire. Well, my thought is I'll drop one more mini air layer on this because I want to cut it off anyways. And I'm just gonna do it right here. This is so small that somebody might even just use it as a cutting, but I mean, I'm going air layer crazy, so got all the supplies here, might as well do it that way. And this one's much smaller than the others. This is gonna be a piece of cake. Just like that. Cut across here. Yeah, okay. So once again, we got perfect bark pull. There it goes. Yep, that's all the bark off. Scrapey scrape. This will make a nice little tree too, and it'll start encouraging the lower ramification. We really got to take down these tall pieces, otherwise this is never going to look good. I don't like this one quite as much as my other sand cherry. I think my other sand cherry with the split trunk has got more potential for it to be an interesting tree after I pull off the air layers from this year. Yeah, like I said, this is almost like an unnecessary air layer because I could almost just plop this in the ground to get it to grow, but it's just not the right season for that. So I'm gonna go ahead and give it a chance to air layer like the others. I'll also use up the rest of this grading hormone that I have right here. So hopefully I can get my own little dish of it and it'll be a little cleaner than the corner of the tray like I have been using. Okay, just covering this thing with rooting hormone. There. Okay, let's bag it up. I'm gonna have to cut a new piece of paper for this one. bubble wrap. And all I'm going to do here is just cut another piece that's the same size as the other ones I was using. Even though it's a little bit overkill. It wasn't a perfectly even cut, so I'll just use the shorter side. That's fine. There we go. Okay, let's wrap it up. Turn it this way so you guys can see. This is such a small branch. I really hope this one takes and we start getting some lower cherries. The other one has tons of growth low. So I'm thinking that after we take these off in the next 12 months, I'll be able to get a lot more low growth on this one. It may show some better potential for the future. Otherwise, it'll just become like a yard tree, you know? It's no big deal. If it's not perfect bonsai material in the end, it costs me $5 and I can throw it in a yard and it'll still give me a little bit of happiness and color throughout the year. Okay, just mixing up that substrate that I've been using, guys. And once again, I'm gonna give a little squeeze for some extra juice. There, it's juicy. And this should be a big enough plug for this small of a branch. Let me get 2 strings ready. Ooh, those are long. That's really long. Okay, there's one. And that's really short. Come on, where's the perfect size string? It's not all stuck together like spaghetti. There we go, that one's all right. My strings are spaghetti. All right, so while trying to protect this lower branch, that's where the tie is gonna go off. So let me get my plug up and above that. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna wrap around this way so that I don't crush any branches. And I can get a nice tight rope right above them. Oh yeah, I gotta be able to see from this side here. Okay. There, I'm thinking this is pretty good, hang on. This is pretty good. Yeah, this is good. They might redirect this one branch here, but you know, sacrificing 2 of the smaller guys here to get the air layer off and hopefully get a bunch of lower ramifications should be worth. This is like the slowest moving strategy game ever, guys. Moves at the pace of nature. IRL Botany Manor. Maybe that's what I should broadcast as, IRL Botany Manor. Except I haven't even really played Botany Manor yet. I downloaded it because it looks awesome and right up my alley, but I haven't gotten to play it yet. Just haven't had the time. Resident Evil came out and all that other stuff's been distracting. All right. So I got that part. Now we got to tie the second one after we form the plug. And all of this sphagnum is like starting to spill all the way up top, like past the branches. I need it down, down, down. Below the crotch of these branches, for sure. There we go. That's a little better. Okay, so now with it plugged up, I'm gonna start folding in. Like I said, I have a whole bunch of branches here, so I'm wondering if I can do a fold over there. I wonder how that's gonna work. It's kind of a unique tie here. Let me see. As long as it goes down to the intersection of these 3 branches right here, it should be perfect. Let's see. Yeah, Yeah, it actually pulled down a bit. That's perfect. Sick. So another good tie right off the bat. Boom. All right, so yeah, that's a mini. We'll see if it works. And I'd say this sand cherry is just about picked clean. There's not much more I could take off of it. Unless I wanted to go for these little guys, but that's all that's left on it. I don't want to cut all of the flowering pieces off. So, in the end, we'll have this little area here. This branch looks like it's pretty toasted. It's having a hard time. But we got some lower growth happening here, small growth happening here and here. And this will kind of be the style until we can get more growth. And it'll be cool. I'll be able to cut this stuff way down so we start getting lots of ramifications low after we take off the air layers. So that'll take a couple of weeks. And until then, we say au revoir to our plum sand cherries for the season. Essentially, that's all we can do to them. I can't replant them or repot them while they're doing air layers. Got to just leave them where they're at. So let's let them do their work. They're gonna get hacked down to pretty much nothing after we get done with all of our air layering, and then we'll see how they how the ramification happens at the bottom, and hopefully they turn into something cool. Otherwise, $5 for 3 starts that make 3 cool little bonsai is pretty unbeatable. So there you go. Air layer clinic for this part is complete. I hope that you guys had fun and learned something with that. Let's move on to our next project. I'm not sure what it's going to be. Let me take this outside and I will decide on our next project, everyone. It says here the ads are about to start in a few minutes anyways, so I'll let you guys know that we're doing a tree swap, and we'll take just a quick break while I get these trees swapped out. Alright, see you in a few. Love you. like I said, I'm just grabbing a couple of other projects to work on. So give me just a few minutes. And we might even take off this big part of the chestnut. We'll see. We'll see if anybody drops in. Yeah, we'll be back in a few after we get everything picked up, guys. Alright guys, let's blast off again. Thanks for the wait. Had to knock a couple things out and get a few things moved. As you can see, we got a new tree in front of us. Not sure what type of tree this is, honestly. At first I thought it was some type of maple, but honestly it could be a type of sycamore. Needs to be brought back in at least 2 places to bring our canopy back into manageable range. So we're gonna do that. Bada bing, bada boom. All right. good. Got a fresh coffee going. It's gonna put us right back up. Alright, so more air layers means more sphagnum. Stuff is real dry now, but a little bit of water will bring it back very quickly. There we go. Alright, so let's dump a little bit of water in there. A lot. Let's see, where'd my headphones end up? Over there. So I'm gonna groove to the music with you guys and make sure that I don't miss any notifications. Something that I have noticed, you guys, is that regular subscriptions and everything show a cool notification for everybody. Excuse me. Doing individual subscriptions will get you a fun notification, but I haven't even set something up, set anything fun up for, like, you know, numbers of gift subs. And so thank you so much for those recent gift sub drops. Brian TV, it just did like the standard celebration. I wish you got something a little more fun, but I'm getting that stuff set up one thing at a time because I wasn't expecting to be getting things like 5 dono subscriptions and things like that at this point. Thank you so much to everybody who's been so helpful to the channel. Tassadul, always dropping in, hanging out with us, making sticks look pretty. Thank you to Hexy and everybody else who's been supporting the channel. YG Chels, it's always cool when you drop by. I still have Valorant, just haven't gotten through boot camp yet, so I haven't gotten a chance to play Valorant. But one of these days, I think maybe we should hop on together once I get through boot camp. Alright, so I got my moss ready, and I know it's ready because it's nice and wet. So I'm gonna set this aside for a sec, and I've got my ties here, I've got my bubble wrap. I'm gonna cut at least 3 of these. So I think we're gonna take 3 big branches and call it good on this one. Three big branches, 3 big spindly branches that don't add to the bonsai, so it needs to be either cut off and thrown away or hopefully cloned and saved by us and put into something else. For this next segment, I'm gonna throw my hat backwards because this tree comes towards me a lot. I don't want to bump it too much. Okay, so what are we working with? First off, got my growth hormone right here, my root hormone. I kind of got to move some stuff around here. I've got my razor for my cuts, and then this is kind of where I've been putting my rooting hormone. This tray's actually been working out pretty good. Just kind of holding my propagation stuff. So maybe I'll just get that to the low point again. Maybe I need to do some rearranging. Hang on. Put that there. That there. That can stay there. And perhaps you can get a little better view for you guys. We gotta change up the angle on the camera and such since we're working on a new project now. I really don't like this tray setup. I suppose that works. Just have to be careful not to bump the light. Okay. Now let's get you guys a better view. Kind of like that. There we go. Yeah. I know this thing's kind of in the way. Your light bar here. I'll just set it down. Okay. Who's ready to get back to work? Garbage box right there. So let's choose where we're gonna take. We got to imagine first the shape of this tree. So I'm gonna look at it from the front here. Where is our front? Let's decide. I like this as the front, if I'm being honest. I think the whole thing needs to turn around once it gets planted more level. I think that needs to be the back, and this needs to be the front once we turn it up and it's more level. This will be an interesting lead. Here, this is kind of dead, unfortunately, but this is an interesting lead here, so I probably want to leave this branch intact, maybe for the canopy, and then this can be taken way down to say here. Let me think for a sec, guys. Okay, I think I'm gonna take here, leave this like this. That's a good front. This back needs to be taken way down to the point of like all the way up here, so that we either get ramification or turn this into gin, depending on how it acts. But it's in the back, so it doesn't really matter. It could get turned to gin and look cool, actually. So I suppose that this is our lead here, guys, is that we go from here to here. This is our new lead, essentially. So I'll leave this because we can do some stuff to it to make it interesting in the back. But this can come off down here. Probably right at this dead branch out here.